Hakamichi, escort Miura down there, please. Shizune nods, but Misha getting up to follow her. Not you, Mikado. I think you know why.
Oh.
The sting is palpable as she sits herself back down. Hisao doing his best to silently console her. No, don't comfort Misha.
Yes, comfort Misha.
Hello, welcome back to Bookend Gaming, and happy Otaku Tuesday.
Yes!
I am Travis.
I'm Eric.
Still playing Summer's Clover.
We are.
But I have an announcement to make. There's a new...
You're pregnant.
I was going to say there's a new addition to the Bookend Gaming family. And it's not a human. It's a new TV.
Yeah!
Oh my god. So we can't afford new chairs. But this TV...
The TV
That's
was
a
more
callback.
important.
So I'm going to take a couple pictures and send them to you.
Okay.
It's a little bit of a peek behind the curtain because it's going to show the outer edges of the screen and whatnot.
Right.
I'm going to just take a picture of the old TV we were recording on.
Okay, yes.
So there's that. So go ahead and show that to the people. That's what we were trying to read off of.
My 40-inch.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was full screen. Right now, it's got the Elgato on it. So we've got two TVs. We're fancy here.
Yeah.
And then here is the TV now.
Yes, 70-inch. 4K.
Yeah.
So now we can play the boobies games.
That's what it, yeah. It's
The
so
way they were meant to
big.
be seen.
It's so gigantic that it has to be sitting on the floor right now.
Yeah, I have an entertainment center on the way. It's fine.
Yeah.
But
so that's what we're dealing with now.
I'm
Giant
excited.
TV to play Katawa on.
that's awesome. I bought it just so we can play all of my retro games on.
Of course, in 4x3 on your giant
Yeah.
widescreen television.
Summer's Clover is in like a square window as well, but
Jesus Christ. Yeah, I was going to say, like, they're going to see, like, what we see now, where it's got your weird background and all the kind of things.
my
But
daughter makes my backgrounds.
yeah, no, that's fine. I get it. I thought maybe you did it. It's very Jackson Pollock. Okay, so what happened here?
I was like, why does that? It's because I keep moving
the mouse. Yeah.
All right. We went to Sephiroth's restaurant. She passed out.
Right.
That's
Okay,
pretty
yeah.
much it.
and
They
we're
went
carrying her
out
back.
on an actual out of school.
Yeah, they
date.
showered together
They
and then
did.
went on like a real date
Yeah, they had sex.
because they had the shower
shower.
sex with the deflated balloon.
Yes. And now we're on our way back into school with a girl on our back,
I gotta send you these pictures. Don't let me forget.
as is often the case. In my high school days, that's a complete lie.
Of course. Okay. I didn't remember if I read this. I'm going to anyway.
Go for it.
I wonder how many times I made my way up this hill with the slumbering girl on my back.
Are those clouds covering the moon, or
It's the
mountains?
castle from Castlevania.
Okay, I was wondering exactly
That's
what was going on
huge.
there.
Yeah, I think it's got to be clouds.
It looks jagged though.
It
like
does. That's what I was saying. It
um,
looks like a tower of a castle.
Could just be mountains. There is like a big hill to the right here.
That's true. I don't remember what it looks like in the daylight. I'm pretty sure that's just clouds.
Okay, that's just clouds.
Not
That's
that
just
I mind doing so. Being useful to someone is something I've always needed, and it's good exercise in any case. Then there's the view.
If she explains
If she talks about a castle,
the moon being obscured by mountains,
oh, it'd be amazing. Shining through the darkness of the night, the street lamps and residents' lit windows shine up from the town below. People, hundreds of them, reduced to so many pinpricks of light in the black expanse. All those lives reduced to little more than lonely splotches.
do they die?
It's made all the more poetic by the total lack of life around the two of us. All that's to be heard is the occasional rustle of gravel underfoot at the side of the road. That's not my feet. It's pretty, isn't it, Suzu?
Yes.
No answer. Can't say it's a surprise. The air is nice and cool compared to the day's heat. It's calming. My enjoyment of the night's stroll is disrupted as I become aware of my shoulder becoming wet. Ew. She started to drool on me now? Not cool.
Oh, she pissed on me.
Right? The resigned smile on my face soon drops. However, as a quiet whimper comes from Suzu, the dead silence around us makes the sound impossible to mistake.
Just finds a moose and rides back to town on it.
I try to think of a time when Suzu's teared up before, but it's hard. Aside from the time I first met her, and once or twice when she's hurt herself, she's never been much for crying.
Is she crying?
I guess.
Oh, I thought she was drooling.
Yeah, well, so did she. There's nothing I could say to help the situation, so I end up keeping my mouth shut. It would suck to try so hard to make this a great day, only to have it stolen from you at the last moment. Those breadsticks suck.
I'm sorry. It's always like this.
I'm a were-crier. It's a full moon out. Come on, that's my line.
It's a castle.
I had fun today, Suzu. It's been the best day in a damn long while, actually. Suzu's sobbing stops, but only because she's pushed her face into my shoulder to try and steady herself.
I mean, never-ending breadsticks? How could it get better than that? They never end.
I should be the one apologizing. I've always been a brute, after all. I'm selfish, total simpleton, stupid, and I manage to make a total mess of everything all the time. I'm so stupid that I call myself a simpleton kind of twice.
And stupid.
Yeah.
I'm so dumb.
I'm dim-witted. Compared to me, you come out pretty good. Silence returns as I continue to trudge up the hill. I come so very close to asking the one question I want an answer to, but also the one that would likely mean the end of us being together if I asked it.
What's that?
Oh, God. I wish I could say that I'm trying to keep us together for the sake of Suzu's happiness, but I know I'd be lying to myself. I need her. I needed her ever since that fateful day those years ago. Wait, those years go. And if I lost her, I don't know what I'd do.
What's she going to ask her?
I don't know.
Does she like pineapple on pizza?
Oh, God. I do, though.
Me too.
Thank God we can still be friends.
Okay, good.
It's Suzu who breaks the silence. We lose like 6 subscribers. It's Suzu who breaks the silence.
Pineapple
given
Gate.
4 whispered words.
Thank you for everything.
You're welcome.
And then she becomes a werewolf.
Oh, God.
Oh, did we beat the game?
Oh, my God. That'd be amazing. That's the episode.
Did we beat the game?
Did
we beat our visual novel?
Yes. Walking into class. It seems like it'll be another ordinary day.
Oh, you never say that.
Suzu sits bored at her desk as she looks out the window, having joined the other arrivals to class, with Hazao talking to Misha and Suzune, and Haru not yet here. I stride up to her. Good morning, Suzu. You look very happy. She just stares at me with that bored face of hers. Assuming I was wrong, I'd take another try.
It's kind of like that shirt where it says like happy, sad, and whatever. Like it has all the faces, but it's just the same face.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Depressed? Annoyed? I give up. I don't even know why I bother trying.
I'm turned on.
I hop up on the side of my desk to talk to her, for lack of anything else to do. Ready for the test after lunch?
Test?
Yeah, Mutao mentioned it a few days ago. She just shrugs. It's unlike Suzu to forget something like that, let alone not care about it. I guess her mind's still on other matters. Not that I'm completely innocent. She wasn't at school for...
Yeah.
Completely innocent of that either.
Are you still going to quit the track club?
Probably. Just a matter of telling the teacher in charge, really.
How dare you!
Ah!
Don't do anything else you want, but don't do that.
Unlike you to feel so strongly about that kind of thing.
Only because you don't feel strongly enough. You've been in that club for years. Don't quit on my behalf.
It's not all for you, you know. I thought you'd like seeing me a bit more. Suzu just stares at me. I don't know whether to appreciate her unusual strength of will on the issue, or be somewhat hurt by her rejecting having more time together. The more I stay like I am, the less I feel as if we're really belonging with each other. But now she acts like this when I try to bridge the gap.
We belong.
It's going to be all confusing.
It is.
Alright, I'll hold off. I guess we could talk about it later. She nods simply, apparently pleased with the compromise. Come on, Suzu, what's up? You're in a weird mood today.
I'm fine. You should just cherish your friends more.
What the fuck's that supposed to mean? I can't say I'm totally placated by the response, but she has a fair point. Maybe someone like her, who's rarely had many, is the best kind of person to listen to on such matters.
Appreciate your friends while they're here.
Yeah, the people who have no friends are the best authority on friends.
R.I.P. Bob Saget.
Aww, sad. Did they ever fit? It doesn't matter. With Haru skipping into the room moments before the first teacher of the day walks in, the both of them are very nearly late. I hop off my desk and take a seat. Suzu really does seem out of sorts today, but that wall between her and I is strong as ever. With the class having returned from lunch, Mutao begins his lecturing on what today's test will cover. Little more than a retread of what we've been taught on the current topic, with a few harder questions thrown in to check what we've retained over the holidays.
That's
It's got
not
like
fair.
the sad music playing.
It does. Something bad's going to happen.
I might pass. That would be close if I do. In any case, that's less of a concern to me right now than the empty desk to my left.
She killed.
Oh, she didn't come back from lunch.
She killed Yukio or whatever his name is.
Oh, yeah.
He bled out and died.
Oh, my God. That'd be amazing if it just, like, took a turn, like DDLC style.
Right.
The other students just walked by as if nothing were amiss, perhaps throwing a casual glance at Suzu's empty seat before writing it off as yet another episode of her narcolepsy. Be easy to think that way myself if not for recent events. But I'm not the only one who knows what's happened in the past. Rumors regarding me, and by extension her, aren't hard to catch on the wind. Does everyone really think this is normal, or are they just giving themselves an excuse not to get involved?
Are we going to find out about her past? Or is it just like...
I don't know.
I don't know.
It is most likely just another nap, but I can't concentrate at all, knowing that I have no other option to raise my hand. Yes, Miura. I feel sick. Can I go to the nurse's office?
No.
I'll bet, his face says. He wouldn't be wrong. Mutao sighs, but we both know that he has little option but to let me go. It'll be a pain for him to rerun the test for my sake, but he'd have needed to for Suzu anyway. Hakamichi, escort Miura down there, please.
Fuck you, I don't want to fail.
Shizune nods, but Misha getting up to follow her. Not you, Mikado. I think you know why. Bitch.
Oh.
The sting is palpable as she sits herself back down, Hisao doing his best to silently console her. No, don't comfort Misha.
Yes, comfort Misha.
Shizune walks over and motions for me to follow her out. Mutao wasted no time in getting back to his pre-test briefing. The two of us quietly walk down the abandoned hallway, the sound of one teacher following another as we walk past the filled classrooms. My body feels unbearably tense, which I'd hoped would stop once I gained my freedom from class. I notice that Shizune's pulled her notepad as she walks in front of me, scrawling something down. At least nobody can accuse us of making noise in the corridors like this. Would you stop that incessant scribbling noise?
What's the story?
I really need to work on my lying. Knowing that Shizune could get the truth eventually, I decided to give up without a fight as I take the notepad and pen. I want to check on Suzu. I promise I'll come straight back if it turns out to be nothing.
No.
Handing the items back takes her a moment to decipher my hasty chicken scratch. It's clear she isn't pleased with the proposal, but her answer after handing them back is a surprise.
Go.
With my mind occupied with my new goal, I verbally thank her before realizing the mistake, taking off without checking her reaction.
I mean, she would gather that you said thank you.
Right. I move as bitch. She'll
I'm
never
deaf.
know. I move as fast as I dare down the stairs and onto the lower floor, lest a teacher pull me aside to scold me for running in the hallways. I don't bother looking to this class or that anymore, only the path ahead.
Oh, God.
Ah!
She's broken the sound barrier.
Gotta go fast. Emerging from the main entrance into the empty school gardens, the fresh air hitting my face spurs me into a flat run. There's a little point to walking now that I'm outside, and the distance from here to the dormitories ain't great. There aren't many places like someone like Suzu would be, after all. If she were in the library, it's likely one of the staff would be there would at least try to wake her, leaving the dormitory as most likely place she'd retreat. She's in there with Yukio.
No!
It doesn't take long to reach the building, taking a moment to have a breath before opening the door and heading inside.
He's kidnapped her, and he's like the super villain now.
Oh my god. It's like the end of the Walking Dead game.
Yeah.
Spoilers. Those horrid artificial lights above the entrance blare away, their slightly too perfect white glare sharply contrasting with the sunlight outside. Wasting little time, I stride through to the stairwell. The quiet of the dormitory building entrance is just as present in the wing housing of her room. I know it's unlikely I'd hear her if she was indeed sleeping, but I can't help but wonder if I guessed the wrong location nevertheless. With her door shut as expected, and knowing that knocking would be pointless given that she wouldn't hear it if she were asleep. Oh my god, it is going to be DDLC. I fish out her key from my pocket and insert it into the lock. The door gives a satisfying click as it unlocks. A slight push sending it swinging open.
Oh god.
Jesus.
Oh.
I have to squint a little in response.
Can't play VNs anymore.
It's a giant bear instead of a giant cow. I have to squint a little in response to the sunlight pouring into her room from the small window. My gaze shifting to her figure seated on the side of her bed.
Well, it's pretty dark in there.
Right? A glint of light catches my eye as I do so.
Jesus Christ.
My heart stops. The girl's eyes look downward with a distant stare. Her left arm... Her left arm rests on her leg,
Why?
the
No,
palm
what?
upturned and sleeve pulled up.
What?
The point of a small utensil rests against the wrist held by her right hand.
What is this? Where's
I
this
didn't.
come from?
I was joking, bitch. A kitchen knife. Suzu's holding a kitchen knife against her forearm. My center of gravity shifts forwards. My body immediately taken over where my mind has failed. I'm already almost upon her by the time Suzu notices my presence. Adrenaline almost feels to pour from my eyes. Such is the amount of coursing through my body. Every motion is born of pure reflex as I come over her. My mind lagging terribly behind and comprehending the situation.
Yeah, no, I know the feeling.
Yeah, Jesus. Time feels slow as I fall on top of her. My left stump pushing her right hand outward as my bent right forearm is shoved against her neck. Jesus, don't choke her out. Her dazed expression tells of her not having any idea what's just happened in the last 2 seconds as we tumble downward. Crash into the bed, we find ourselves tangled. With my hand still pressed to Suzu's neck, holding her down, her right arm held against the bed with my left forearm. All I'm left to do is stare down at her with our faces barely inches from each other. Despite unambiguously being the one in physical control of the situation, I have no idea what I'm supposed to do. What comes after something like that? It's Suzu's eyes that give the first indication of what's happened. Bulging wide as tears begin to well up, her breath catches as she desperately attempts to keep some control over herself. Her face twists and distorts as she tries to keep a flood of emotions in, but it's utterly hopeless. Her tears overflow and begin to fall over her cheeks, first as a trickle before becoming a river. Where's Justin Timberlake when you need him? I want to say something to help her, anything at all, but I'm powerless. Even as I hold myself inches over Suzu's frail body, the girl I love so much just breaks.
Well, at least she's alive.
Jesus Christ. All semblance of composure shatters as the dam breaks. Her whimpers breaking out into wild bawling. My heart breaks as I watch her body seize and convulse beneath mine, her wailing face overflowing with tears. Everything is messed up. It wasn't supposed to be like this. It wasn't supposed to be anything like this. I'm so sorry, Suzu. Why?
I was not expecting that even a little bit.
No.
What? Okay. Whew. Okay then. Yeah.
That was too much.
That was too much. We made it. It's a brand new day.
Yeah, everything's fine now. The soft breeze is cool as I sit and watch watching the gaggle of guys fooling around on the track. Seated in the shade of the trees lining the edge of the track area, I simply lack the energy to get up and join in. It's been a week since that terrible day. Might as well have been yesterday as far as my memory's concerned. Yeah, ours too. The image of her sitting there, knife in hand, solemnly contemplating the end of her existence with those distant eyes still makes me feel physically sick. I'll never forget that scene, no matter how long I live. I'm going to have to kill myself to get rid of it. Suzu hadn't been at school since then, with her parents having collected her. A cover story of unspecified family issues was given as the reasoning for her temporary disappearance, which seems to have stuck. Like all good rumors, it had just enough truth to be believable, and few dared to ask questions of the girl who just flattened a guy over her. Piece of bread in its plastic wrapper suddenly dangles in front of my face.
I am bread. Feel better now.
Despite not having an appetite at all, I take the packet just to get him off my back.
The bread?
As expected, it's Asao who takes a seat beside me. He and Haru are the only others who have known the truth, beyond the teachers and staff. As for Suzu and her family, I haven't heard a peep since that fateful day. I'm not hungry.
I don't care.
His tone is harsher than I'm used to, and with a little fight left in me, I obediently rip open the thin packaging. Even if I'm loath to admit it, the smell of fresh bread playing at my nose does incite a small hunger. The two of us end up eating our lunches side by side, the distant sounds of playing and shouting drifting in the air. As we munch away, I can't help but say what's on my mind.
Something's wrong.
It feels weird, doesn't it? Everyone else playing around, completely oblivious to what happened.
Well, I mean, you did.
Are you going to make
lie
an announcement?
Right, or whatever. They spread the rumor about it. Yeah, I know what you mean. It's like everything diverged from that moment, with the rest of the world in a different timeline to the one we're in.
Something's wrong.
Haru's just like, hey, yeah, that's crazy.
Finally,
right?
you get yeah. Oh, come on, that's nonsense.
That's stupid. Nobody treats us any differently, but in a way, that's the problem.
As always, Hasal's the one to find words where I struggle for him.
I know you lied about the relationship between you and Suzu back when I asked.
Sorry, did you just say Suzu? Have you been calling her that? No wonder she did it. I wanted a clean slate, you know? Someone who I could deal with as if none of that crap had ever happened. I guess that's kind of impossible now, huh? Hasao just looks at me expectantly. I can't keep this from him any longer, and after all the support he's given me, he deserves to know. Finally! I take a long breath, thinking back to those days. It isn't something I enjoyed doing. I suppose you gathered by now that I used to be an unpleasant kind of person.
Used to? I mean, yeah, something like that.
Most of the kids who enter Yamaku are pretty well-adjusted, normal folk. Just your usual kids who happen to have some shit luck. I wasn't like that. I got the best luck. After I lost my hand, I guess you could say I went off the rails. I got off on beating people, to put it bluntly. Pretty much anyone who I didn't like the look of, but mainly those who looked down on me. I'd always been built pretty damn well by the standards of a girl or a guy. That strength was damn near all I had left, so I used it.
A real delinquent, huh?
Nothing so romantic. I was just a shithead bully, nothing more. Over the years I got a reputation, one I deserved, mind you. People didn't stand up to me, and I could see the humility people had if they felt they'd gotten in my way. I'm not gonna lie, it felt good. I felt powerful again. Gave me a twisted sense of accomplishment and status. Sense of pride and accomplishment. Thanks, EA. But one day I met someone who didn't know about that reputation.
The day you met Suzu.
I give a nod.
She didn't give a damn about my bad reputation.
I don't remember everything about that day, but I do remember the way Suzu looked. She was sitting on the ground near the storage shed. Something smelled like lemons. Could barely see her between the legs of the three girls and some guy who were standing around insulting at her. Something about the situation annoyed me, so I walked up to him and I challenged a girl who seemed to be leading the little charade.
That's pretty admirable. Standing up for her when you didn't need to, that is.
Yeah, that would be admirable. I still don't know if I genuinely wanted to help her or if I just had a chip on my shoulder that day.
I killed her.
In any case, the girls backed off after recognizing me, but the guy made the mistake of picking an argument. I think it was the boyfriend of one of them or something. He started going off about Suzu and how she'd screwed up something or other. I honestly didn't care much. But then he made the mistake of insulting me. I can't recall what he said, but something inside of me tripped.
What happened then?
I kissed him. I broke him.
We made love.
Right in front of his girlfriend.
Yeah.
Silence washes over us. Sal leaning back as I realize the dark face I must be making right now as I remember the event. The ambient noise of people playing around ahead feels slightly surreal, given the atmosphere.
You didn't kill him, did you?
I wasn't far off. I went absolutely berserk on him. I don't even know if I got hurt or not. Every part of my mind was purely dedicated to destroying his body. If a couple of teachers hadn't found us and dragged me off the guy, I really don't know what might have happened. I take a breath and pull myself out of the moment. Hasao just looks on, understandably speechless as macabre images fill his thoughts. This is the first time I've told anybody about this stuff myself, come to think of it. Such things tend to get around quickly, though, so everyone in school at the time largely knew, as rumors if not in detail.
And Suzu?
I remember seeing her face as the teachers pulled me away. She looked super turned on. No, not her face, her fear. I'd never seen someone so terrified in my life. I think that was the first moment I realized what a detestable being I'd become. That someone could look at me and see something that gave them that much fear.
You mean you didn't see it in the people you were beating?
Right?
No, she was blacked out at that moment.
Why, with that information, would Yukio even try to fight her then?
Right.
Like, what an idiot.
For what it's worth, I'd never have guessed it. You always seemed like a pretty laid-back kind of person to me.
I take Xanax.
Now that I
A
think
lot of Xanax.
What happened afterwards? Surely you didn't get out of that without punishment.
I was pretty much set for expulsion. By that point, the staff were looking for an excuse to throw me out, and it's not like I had any friends willing to come in and bat for me. But then one day, it was never mentioned again.
They dropped the matter.
It's like the timeline shift.
I was going to
or
say,
something.
Haru fixed it.
Yeah. Yeah, it was the strangest thing. Haru cast some weird spell and made everybody forget about it. It was so bizarre that my curiosity got the better of me. The staff weren't going to tell me anything, so I ended up fingering the student council for information.
You did what?
No wonder you spent so much time with Shizune. Turned out that they'd taken up my cause and argued that I had my reasons, that Suzu was being bullied and I was defending myself after trying to argue them away from her.
Why would they do that, though?
Because a particular girl told them that's what happened. Seizing on the lull in conversation, I said about finishing the bread in my hand. Hasao just looks out to the field ahead, thinking on what I said.
So you felt a debt to her.
I'm not the kind of person to worry about that sort of thing.
Yeah, I noticed.
Asshole. I'll beat your ass. Rather than a debt, it's more, I felt useful to someone. That's why we ended up hanging around each other. Suzu had no friends, so when I was around, she wouldn't get bullied, and had someone to help if she had a cataplexy attack or suddenly felt sleepy. As for me, it was a mere curiosity at first, working out why she'd done such a thing. After a while, though, I realized that I had a purpose again. I could live for Suzu's sake. That girl saved me.
You shouldn't forget that you saved her. It's a miracle you got to her in time.
Saved her? I did no such thing. It's my fault she even fell that far to begin with. I thought I could change, that I could somehow redeem myself. In the end, it was all a fantasy.
She didn't say the thing. Suzu told me something once. I didn't understand why she felt about it so strongly then, but now it makes sense.
Yeah?
Yeah. She said that she didn't believe in it.
That always gets me. That always cracks me up, that little, yeah? Yeah. It's like whispery, yeah.
She said that she didn't believe in the concept of good people or bad people, just people who do good or bad things.
Yeah, usually when you do mostly bad things, you're a bad person. It's the kind of hopelessly naive thing she'd believe. She's lived a sheltered life, after all. It's not a bad thing in itself, but her innocence because of it makes her attempts to form a worldview look childish. From the way Hasao's smiling, she managed to get at least one believer. It would be nice to think that I'm somehow a different person to who I was those years ago, but I imagine those I hurt would have very different opinions.
Well, you're not beating my ass right now, so...
I mean, you were one choice away from banging me. So. A buzzing sound suddenly comes from Hasao's pocket, his hand quickly diving in to retrieve his phone. Oh, sorry, this is Emmy's mom. I gotta take this. He looks to me with an expression of surprise after glancing at the display.
It's Tsubasa. She wants to fuck?
How did I not catch any of the signals?
I gotta take this.
Yeah.
Get better. Oh.
The sweater vest. What a hero. Look at that hero pose in his sweater vest. I can practically hear my heart thumping away as I walk through the park. While I do my best to appear casual, I don't think Hasao buys it.
There's actually people in this scene.
Right?
Back by that tree.
Oh my gosh. Those are some nice umbrellas. Why do they have umbrellas?
I don't know, maybe it was raining.
Is it? Doesn't look like it.
It looks pretty sunny.
An offer to talk to Suzu once more finally came. Perhaps unsurprisingly from her sister rather than her parents. It's the first contact I've had with her since that day, and I really have no idea what to expect. While I may have hoped that the time that's passed would have dulled my memories, they're still fresh as ever. Moreover, if it's bad for me, it can only be worse for her.
You okay?
Almost pissing myself, actually. Thanks for coming with me. Hasao claps me on the shoulder a couple of times. He needn't have come, but I must have made a pitiable impression on him when I implied I wouldn't be comfortable doing this alone.
Please don't piss yourself.
As we clear the trees, a lonely wooden park bench comes into view, with a lonely girl seated on it. Only the top of the back of her head is visible, but there's no mistaking her. I mean, she's got blue hair. I stop in my tracks. Now that I can see her, I'm forced to admit that it feels wrong to bring Hasao into this. It's not his fault any of this happened, and I'm the one with the most time spent with Suzu.
It'd be Misha, because that was the only one that they mentioned. Like, her unmistakable hair.
Oh, yeah.
It's for some reason pink hair in anime.
Right.
No other colors.
That's the only
just
colored
pink.
hair that's because I feel like sometimes blue is like they do that because it's easier to do than black.
I guess.
'Cause black gets lost in the background.
I guess. There are black-haired anime girls, though.
Yeah.
But yeah.
My mind begins to fill with all the events that lead to this situation. What might have been in her head as she stared into the abyss of non-existence, what I did to make her hurt so badly, and what I could have done to stop it. What I saw, what I didn't see, what I did and what I didn't.
Miki?
We've been standing here for like 20 minutes. I take a sigh to steady myself. Makes me feel a little sheepish, but I have to admit the obvious. Sorry, Hasao, but... He just smiles. It's always bugged me how easy it is to make him wear a smile. But how hard it is to make him genuinely do so. This, at least, is the latter.
I understand. Good luck.
Thanks. I owe you one. I put on a sweater vest for nothing. He turns on the ball of his heel and begins to stroll off, hand held in the air.
I'm off to Sabusa's.
Don't you forget about me.
I'll hold you to that.
With that, he disappears into the trickle of people walking along the concrete path out of the park. Why do you have an umbrella? It's just me and Suzu now.
There she is.
With my heart in my mouth, I walk up to the bench and park myself beside her. My first mistake is waiting for her to greet me before doing the same, with an awkward silence lingering after she fails to say a word. Indeed, her only reaction to my presence is a quick sideways glance before looking straight ahead once more. The only silver lining is that I feel a little less conspicuous as I examine her as best I can. Oh, hiccup. The most immediate observation is that she looks small. Are you always this small? I do my best.
You're really small.
I do my best to try and work out why, but come to the conclusion that it isn't physical. Beyond her slumped shoulders, she gives the aura of someone wholly defeated, the spark of life within her glowing terribly dim. Doesn't look as if she's been crying recently, at least. A little thinner for the experience, perhaps, but she's always been a problematic eater. Content that I'm not going to work out anything further from looking at the girl, I take a breath and try to work out what I'll say. Which is impossible. Do I address her casually, like today's just another day? We both know that wouldn't be the case. How do I even begin to approach what happened, though? Is she mad at me for stopping her? Thankful? Does she want to break up with me or stay together?
So, why do those guys have umbrellas?
You think it's going to rain? Giving up on making conversation, I simply reach out to rub Suzu's hair. A strange feeling comes over me the moment I place my hand on her head and begin to stroke her. A sense of calm, in sharp contrast to the previous anxiety of facing her again. She's just Suzu after all, same girl I've known for all this time. Maybe she feels something similar to what I am, as her cheeks have become distinctly rosy. Time goes by as I gently stroke her head, but try as we might, we can't ignore what's happened. Suzu's eyes begin to moisten, her mouth trembling as she tries desperately to hold in her emotions. Slowly but surely, tears begin to form, overflowing and gently rolling down her cheeks. My heart stops as I watch her, the girl weeping in sorrowful silence. I wrap my arms around Suzu and bring her head to my chest, holding her shuddering body to mine in a warm embrace. It's from her that the first words come.
I'm sorry.
Come on now, none of this is your fault. I'm the one who messed everything up, but it feels like you're the one taking the fall.
Stop saying that.
Isn't it true, though? She picks herself off of me, wiping her eyes with the back of her wrist. She's managed to pull herself together a little, but barely.
You're not a terrible person, Miki. You're beautiful, outgoing, kind. Unlike me, all I ever do is constantly cause other problems. No matter how hard I try, I've always been useless.
You had the courage to confess. That takes some guts, especially to another girl.
I panicked. That's all that happened. For so long, I stood on the sidelines and tried to help you improve yourself, and saw your circle of friends getting greater and greater. When I saw you with Hasao, I realized that you'd finally become someone who might have a bright future ahead of them, so I figured I'd ruin it. But then, when you mentioned you had... When you mentioned you that... Whoa.
When you mentioned you that chose, yeah,
okay,
that's wrong.
Okay, good. I was like, what happened to me?
That and you should be flipped.
Okay. But then, when you mentioned that you chose to come to my house, to put it in your terms, I guess it was like instinctively reaching for something thrown towards you.
It's like you made a choice in a visual novel and I instantly liked you. Like I gained points for you or something?
Right? I don't know. I suddenly just wanted in your pants. I'd always thought you were straight, but even if you weren't, I was a useless person to begin with. I didn't have the right to be with someone like you. But when I saw the first ray of hope I'd seen for so long, I grabbed at it without thinking.
You should be proud of that. I know I made things worse, but I was trying to change for you. I trail off as her expression falls to one of abject despair.
Yes, that's right, isn't it? Everyone has to change because of me. Everyone has to make allowances and act differently.
Suzu.
I love you, Miki. You're strong-willed, you're brave, you look out for others, you have such a strong spark of life, more than anyone I've ever known.
And them titties, though.
You don't care for Final Fantasy, but we can work past that. I don't care if you think you're stupid or rough, or what you've done in the past. Miki, I didn't fall for you because of what I wanted you to be. I fell for you because of what you are. When I saw how I messed up, hurting the one I loved the very most.
I feel a big lump in my throat as I stare at Suzu, her declaration of her feelings hammering home. Damn it, we're never going to be able to go back to Genova's. I'm not going to cry. I told myself that I damn well wasn't going to cry.
It's ruined forever.
Right?
You can't go back.
Damn it, Suzu. You had me scared, you know. More scared than I've ever been in my life. I reach for Suzu and grab her tightly, pressing her into my chest with all the strength I can muster. Nice.
Miki, you're holding me too tight. I can't breathe. Your gigantic breasts.
Too bad, because I'm not letting you go. I don't want to lose you, Suzu. Not again. I won't change. I promise. Not even for the better.
Yeah.
As I hold her body tightly, her arms find their way around my back. For the first time, I feel like we truly understand each other. There are no walls anymore. All there is me and her.
Are we at this?
That's what I'm
It's gotta be
wondering.
finale-ish,
I'm going to
right?
let at least this scene end. I lost everything all those years ago, but now I realize I found someone truly worth the pain I've felt since then. My precious Suzu, who I so nearly lost.
Whoa.
That's
Oh,
it.
I wasn't-
Yeah,
Wow.
we did it.
This feels finale-ish.
We
One more click.
We
The end.
timed it. We timed it really well. Because,
Yeah.
we're pretty much at an episode. Awesome. We did it.
Katawa Shoujo team
Wow, they really just kind of,
and Sharpo.
went full on
Yeah, that was Dream Daddy.
Dream Daddy.
Who was from Dream Daddy?
Someone better sue the Game Grumps,
Oh.
even though they didn't actually make it.
Higurashi and Angel Beats. What were these?
Those are just people that helped make
No,
sprites.
those are anime.
Are they?
Yeah, so some of those might have been actually taken from...
they took the sprites from them.
Yeah.
From Dream Daddy. That Dream Daddy was unless it was in development for a really long time or something.
Yeah, I don't know.
Hit me with your best shots.
Benatar?
Schwartz and Benatar. Pat Benatar. Yeah, hit me with your best
they
shot.
actually had the... Oh, God, okay.
Summer Nights Travolta. Oh, my God.
We did it!
Yeah! Now we can go back and do the Hisao route.
Yes, I'm excited.
We got to do it.
That was a good... Yeah, I was not expecting that to happen.
Were used without permission. I'll just blank that out.
Oops. But it was... I mean, it's made by the... Well, it was written by the guy, Katawa Shoujo guy.
Yeah.
I don't think this was made by
it's
him.
Unauthorized. Yeah.
Oops.
Well, yeah, they made it off of his script.
Right. Well, whatever.
I don't know. We'll see. If someone comes at us and tells us to take it down, then we'll, I guess, take it down.
Yeah, we'll cry, but we'll do it.
Yeah, well, it'll stay up until then, though. We promise. We won't change for anyone.
Not for the better or for the worse.
Yeah. Just stagnate for the rest of our lives. All right. Well, join us next Tuesday for the beginning of Hisao's route.
Awesome.
I can't wait to find out what happens. It's going to be a lot more talking about penises.
Well, we're going to play it now, so...
Oh, yeah. We're going to start it like right now.
Yeah.
Ha-ha! In your face. I get to see it a week before you guys do.